you may wonder, why is her title Cultivating Southern Hospitality, especially when we're here in Baltimore? Don't worry, I'm not trying to turn everyone into a Southerner. I just want to emphasize the importance and help you see the advantages of having a little Southern hospitality. When new teams are formed, oftentimes teams have to take a personality test, so the bosses can figure out who's on the team, how they can work well together, and things of that sort. A few years back, my team had to take the personality compass test. Wouldn't you know it, my personality turned out to be a Southern personality. So I tend to joke and say I have Southern hospitality, not because I'm from the South, but also because of my personality. In that job, the people on my team didn't always value relationship building skills. They valued getting to the end, reaching the final product. And they would often poke fun and make jokes like, well, Monique is going to come back with all the free stuff and the dinner invites because she's going to spend time building relationships with the vendors. One day, my boss asked me, do you think that you will have better results if you're just a little bit more direct with the teachers? And I told her, you'll get quicker, temporary results. But when you build relationships and show people how they can fill gaps, you get longer lasting, more effective relationships. So I want to encourage you today to see the value in building relationships because they're worth it. Relationship building is not the same as networking. The mindset of a networker is one that says, you have something I want, so I want to get to know you. But a relationship builder values getting to know people in a genuine way. They're not looking for their opportunity to advance their own agenda. To be a relationship builder, you have to first know yourself, embrace your weaknesses, and acknowledge your strengths. So I took time to get to know my strengths by taking the Strengths Finder test. At the top of my list was, guess what? Woo, followed by positivity, consistency, harmony, and includer. I believe you should be proud of who you are and wear it on your sleeve and decorate with things that represent you. So I acknowledge my strengths at home by having pictures of my family around, things that represent my strengths, and spiritual quotes, things that matter the most to me. As a relationship builder, we live our lives by guiding principles and our values, and one of mine is treat others the way you'd like to be treated, something I try to instill in my children every day, because I believe that how you make others feel about themselves says a lot about you. Relationship builders also know that connecting with others at their core produces your strongest results, because you cannot produce good fruit without first having fertilized the roots. Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said and people will forget what you did, but they won't forget how you made them feel. For example, what does Tom Reardon do in his sessions that makes his audience remember how they felt when they answer a question or get something right? That's right, he gives them Pez candies. Who knew that Pez candies would be the key to making connections and building relationships in your sessions? Again, I encourage you to try to find a way to build relationships because they're worth it. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. This was never more clear to me than the last time I was in the classroom with students. I had a class that was filled with some drama-filled girls. Later in the year, I had a student join the class, a girl. She was a little different from the others. Older, a little rough around the edges, dressed, talked a little different. When she came in the class that day, she was out of dress code the first day, so I figured, gotta address this. She looks a little tough, might be a little difficult. So I addressed her that day and thought, this might be a tough relationship to build, but I did. I put the work in, and soon she was telling me things like, Miss, I just got to school today, and I only came because of your class. But I didn't believe her because my class was at fourth period. Who comes to school in the middle of the day? Later that year, in early May, I got a promotion, and I had to leave the classroom, and I had to go back at the end of May to tie up loose ends. When I went back, she wasn't there. When I asked the class where she was, they told me when I left, she left. And that really crushed me because I didn't know how much of an effect I truly had on her. So this is why I think we should value getting to know people and building relationships because they're worth it. As an instructional coach, building relationships has opened a lot of doors in my district for me. It's allowed me to work with both the high end and the low end of the schools in terms of performance. Those schools let me in because I was not going in telling them that their way was wrong and my way was right. I would go in and listen for what they were doing good so I could take that with me and show them that that was good and fill their gaps with things I knew would help them from my toolkit. It also helped when our district decided we should take these 84s from all the math teachers in grades 6 through 12 and replace them with Inspires. And Monique, go work your magic and make them like it. So I quickly figured out that I needed to teach them how to do what they had been doing on the 84s every day on the Inspire, and they would feel comfortable enough to try more features with the Inspire. To the world, you may just be someone, but to someone, you may be the world. This quote makes me think of the most important relationships in my life, my immediate family. You guys know what I'm talking about, being a mom and a wife. Sometimes the most trying relationship, but also the best relationship. It's caused me to exercise the most discipline and patience that I've had to in my life. Because sometimes I want to help my family make what I think is the best decision for them, but they don't always agree. So I have to use some of that relationship building, mixing with a little bit of that woo, to help them really arrive at my decision while making them think they were a part of the process. Because I know I may be their world, it helps me to persevere in these relationships because these are truly worth it. While I was preparing for this talk, I came across this saying: your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card. How you leave others feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark. I want to start leaving my trademark with others. And I'd like to thank these people that have left their trademark with me along the way. Ruth Casey, Johnny Ashurst, Joyce Lee, Denny St. John, Matt Owens, Karen Camp, Ariel Taylor, and Michelle Reinhardt. Thank you for opening doors for me. Thank you for leading the way. Thank you for reaching out and making connections. Thank you for being, most of all, a friend, a mentor, and a think partner. So it's time to start valuing relationship building. It's time to ask, what can I do to help, instead of asking for a business card. It's time to ask, what is your passion, instead of what you do. And it's time to just start building relationships because they're worth it. Thank you.